What's up, guys? So making more headway with this thing. A bunch of odds and ends came in that I was waiting for. A lot of this stuff I did off of the camera because it's just super tedious. It's a lot of work that goes into this wiring, especially with the level of modernization that I'm trying to integrate into the bike, because I just always have to do something always something different and the latest and greatest. So you can see the bike is right here. I got both brake lines on it. I was waiting on these fittings to come in. Luckily I got these from Amazon, but I gotta tie this brake line up too. But as far as the wiring goes, pretty much I got a big chunk of it knocked out. A lot of this stuff I have not zip tied yet, so please be nice in the comments. Like this right here, I got to get some hold ties to hold this to the cylinder head to get it away from the tire. Got everything, all the Deutsch connectors all terminated. It's actually pretty nice because this engine has like a nice little cubby area right here to allow me to push a lot of these inside the frame. So still got to do that. I got the rear brake line on. Those wheels are just hitting. I just cannot get over it. See, the coils I actually have unplugged because it's actually a pretty nice feature on the FuelTech, to where everything that you have integrated output wise, you can actually test on the ECU. So you could do like a trigger to make sure everything is functioning correctly beforehand. But I forgot that I did not have an engine ground to the battery, and I was testing the coils and I was like, man, why are these not like triggering? Because usually you can hear, like when you trigger the coil, you can hear the spark plug actually like jump in the gap inside the engine. It sounds weird, but it sounds like a ticking noise when it actuates. And then all of a sudden I just got the absolute shit shocked out of me. So I'm guessing it probably used me as a ground. But that was just, man, I damn near did a cartwheel across the lawn when that happened. But those are all wired in really good. You got the spark plug wires. I kind of want to get some OEM wires because I'm not really too fond of these. I'm not going to say the name because I don't want to bash anybody, but it feels like it's not making contact with the plug for some reason. The stock ones, you get like a definite, like a click when when it snaps on the spark plug. Let's see what else. I got the throttle all taken care of. This is nice and solid now. Oh yeah, I actually upgraded to the FuelTech Nano Pro. I bought one of these for my YZ and one for this project, and this thing is so sweet. I'll show you more on this when I actually power everything up. So the main thing we can get to is what's going on underneath the trunk. So let me pop this, get this off. So this is where a lot of progress has been made. So for this project, I'm actually using a Noco NLP5 battery. You can see how I have all the grounds and everything tied into this spot right here. This is like my main frame ground. And then when you get back here, you see the good stuff. So this is the Motogadget PDM. I cannot say enough good things about this thing. So if you have an older bike and you're doing a one-off wiring or a clean slate wiring job, please do yourself a favor and get one of these. So I don't even use, like, I have this keyhole right here just so I can lock the turn stalk, but I don't even use a key for the bike. My phone actually is the key, and they do have a backup to where you can actually tie this ignition switch into the PDM just so you aren't stranded. Or you can also buy an RFID. It looks just like an Apple AirTag, to where you can have it in your wallet just in case your phone dies, so you aren't, SOL if you don't have your phone key. So I got the PDM all mounted. You can see I actually had, this is my main power feed from the battery to the PDM. This is using a 40 amp fuse. This actually worked out pretty perfect because there was like a thread cert right here. So I'm like, man, that would actually double good as like as a fuse holder. So everything is like nice and below the actual trunk line, so nothing hits when the seat is on. It's just perfect. But yeah, I got all the inputs terminated. These are basically these are ground triggered or ground triggers. So this basically these are basically triggers from like the switches for the horn, the headlight, the turn signals, the starter button. And then I even took it a step further, because like the starter button, I actually have a dual starter switch. So on the FuelTech, you can actually have the ability to have virtual switches. And then with the new FT Nano, or the new FT Nano Pro, this also has virtual switches integrated on it too, because this is essentially like a secondary touchscreen dash, but you'll see that when I power it up. So I got all of this stuff taken care of. Basically, when you send a ground signal to these inputs, this is the high current side right here that sends power to the actual electronic that you're trying to power, which I only got 2 of those done. So I got ignition, coils, injectors, ethanol sensor, and I think the FT Nano hooked up into this. So I got to finish this today, which shouldn't be a big deal. But yeah, everything is looking pretty good. Everything is nice and tidy. It's away from the exhaust, which I might get ceramic coated anyways, just to mitigate heat. Got the Uego O2 sensor right here. A lot of this stuff I still do need the zip tie, so please be understanding on that. But as far as that, this is how everything turns on. So you can see the ECU is right there. That's basically just it's being in standby mode, but when I hit this power button, you'll see everything come on. So the thing that sucks is like I might have to record from my other phone, because when I power this up, there's an app that works with this, a Motogadget app. When you turn on the ignition, it actually greets me. Like it's literally like some James Bond shit. Like it'll say, "Oh, Mo ride ready." So it's basically telling you that everything is all good to go, all the circuits are good, and you're ready to pull off. But it greets you every single time you power up the ECU. It's absolutely insane. So let me redo this. I'm gonna turn everything off and then I'll power it up so you can see this side. So the Nano Pro is down there. So I don't have an O2 sensor plugged in, so it's giving me an error. It's not happy. But this is what I'm talking about right here. So you could actually set up 5 different dash configurations on this. So this is a starter button right here. This is actually I have 3 starter buttons. One here, one on the dash, and then one on the switch. And that's just more so of a flex. But under it, you can see I got ethanol content percentage, because the bike, it will be set up to run E85 if I want to. Probably won't get really good mileage, but once again, I just rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And then you can see right here I got a 2-step button. It's pretty sweet. The beeping or buzzing that you hear, that's actually the throttle bodies. So that I actually got working really well. And this is all electronic. This does not use any type of cable or anything. And then as well as the actual pedal assembly, everything is electronic, drive-by-wire. So that works beautifully. Show you what it looks like on the dash. When I got all the sensors reading, oil pressure, IAT, fuel pressure, everything. This is the 3rd starter switch right here. It's not triggering because I don't have the starter relay hooked up yet, but you can see actually when I hit the starter button, I'll hit it on the dash. So, and you'll see what the ECU or the PDM does. So you see it's actually triggering that start pin on the far left, and then I'll let off of it. So this is just like the best combination ever with the FuelTech and then the Motogadget PDM. Because like another thing that you could do with this, I can actually control all of these circuits from my phone, and the distance is pretty mind-boggling on how far of a range this thing has. So there's an app. It'll basically show me how much current each circuit is pulling. It'll allow me to trigger each circuit wirelessly. It's absolutely amazing, especially for the price too. But yeah, another thing is, let's see. This is why I love the FuelTech right here, because I could just go through all this and see all of my sensors. This is a live reading right here. And then I'll go over here to the inputs. I got the two-step button hooked up through the actual clutch position switch on the Brembo caliper, or the Brembo Master. So I'm gonna pull that, and then you'll see it activate, which is right here, the 2-step one. Oh, let me go back. So when I pull it, you'll see it green up. So 2-step rev limiter. So everything is working beautifully. A lot of this I really didn't record because I just wanted to show you guys the after results, because man, it's overwhelming with how much time this stuff makes, especially when you want it to look somewhat decent. So yeah, everything is looking pretty good so far though. It's definitely coming together. I gotta get the actual hydraulic clutch line installed on here. I got that from Spiegler Performance in Ohio. Gotta get that bled. I gotta make fuel lines, get the brakes bled. But for the most part, I think today will be like the first day that I'm actually able to crank the motor over. I'm not saying it'll start, but today I will actually be able to come up to this dash, hit this starter button right here, and we'll actually see some oil pressure build, and then we'll hear the motor turning over. But for the most part, everything is working pretty good. So, but it's just real tedious. So definitely helped doing this the first time on my YZ, because there's a lot of stuff that I did not have to bump my head on this time. But I got it filled up with oil. Of course, I'm using Matol, that good green stuff. So oil pan seal must be pretty good, because this is filled past this brim line, so I don't see any leaks, so I guess it's pretty good. So, but man, it's almost there, boys. It is almost there. This video I might actually drop beforehand, and then it'll be a pretty speedy upload after this too, because today should be a big day once I finish those outputs from the PDM. From the PDM to all the supporting electronics, like the headlight, tail light, blinkers, horn, stuff like that. So I just figured I would give you guys a smallish, biggish update, and yeah, just get prepared, because this thing is almost together. So if you haven't already, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. If you support me as a content creator, please subscribe, please like, please comment, please share the build, because this is definitely one of a kind, definitely. So but yeah, I'm shooting to have it out this weekend. I know I said that last week, but this weekend is looking pretty promising. So yep, just stay tuned for the new update. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And then I'll leave my TikTok and my Instagram socials in the description as well. So go follow me on there, because I post pretty regular updates on there as well. So, but until then, just stay tuned for the next update. Peace.